Let's see. Ah, it's all black. What happened? What happened? There he is. Just in time. On time for a stream. Yeah. Look at y'all go. Look, this is how bad the heat is, okay? I am not the type of person who likes ice in their drinks. It's like, it's just way too cold for me. I don't like it. I don't like ice in my drink. I had to go get ice for my water. I am roasting back here, man. And it's just so humid. Yeah. Oh, it's bad. The thing is, I don't feel like it's been that much hotter today than it has been the past handful of days, but I guess it is. The air conditioner's been running non-stop, and me and Glee both got overheated last night, so I've never seen you get ice. That's right. But I went and got some just now. You can hear it. Hear it rattling around in there. It can, Wisp. It's bad. And like, it's not uncommon for people during the summer around here when it gets to the peak to just pass out, you know. It gets rough. Twice did. I feel like we've been in a heat wave all summer this year. Every time I look at the phone, heat advisory. Oh, okay. Oh, the signs of heat stroke. Yeah, around here the signs are you passed out. Oh man. So, did anybody notice the mega lag video that dropped today? The honey update? It wasn't anything too exciting. It was just, it's moving forward in the court system. That's color palettes. We don't need to look at that yet. So, it's interesting stuff, but not really. We're in the slow legal process. We'll need to turn to nuclear energy like yesterday? Yeah, we do. I am not drinking ice cubes, but that's because I do not need to be presentable for camera. Last year was much more mild. It's a pretty strong comeback this year. Installing AC and solar. Oh, you got solar? So does that actually like make a difference in your electric bill? Does it pay for itself like some people claim? We have our electrical grid / company / utilities, whatever you want to call them, have come a very, very long way. Like by the time Glee got here, they were already really solid. But I remember when I was a little, they weren't very good. And it wasn't like bad employees or anything, or just poopy people. It was just a really weak grid. I mean, it was when I was little, where we live, which is the same place as now. There was a lot less. There was just less people, less everything. So the grid wasn't very strong. If the wind blew, your power could go out for a week. You know. Extremely worth it for me. My bill is regularly -$1. Oh, wow. Southern California will get sun. Okay. That might be something to look into. I remember thinking about it in the house I had before this one, which is just like 2 blocks that away. Because I was saying the electrical company, they offer a lot of things to like help you out. And I want to say I was looking into some kind of solar thing. They had some kind of program where you could front some money. They'd come and install it and then transfer it. It was neat because like I went through them to get a brand new unit for the house I had before this one. And the way it worked is only certain companies could do it. They had to be certified and go through all this stuff because everything had to be done a very specific way. But I got a humongous, super duper efficient unit for the other house I had, and they had to redo all the ductwork to match it. It was a lot of work, and I didn't have to pay anything up front, but I had to make payments on my electrical bill every month until it was paid off. So, but like, it was paying for itself for the most part because it was so efficient. Such a good unit. Like my bill was so low, it was ridiculous. I missed that thing. But that house also had 7-foot ceilings, so it's a lot easier to heat and cool when your ceilings are only 7 feet tall. But I was constantly scuffing my knuckles on the ceiling because I would stretch and so you stare at your play button. Solar is useless there because we look like typical British weather. At the time I got it installed, there was a big government rebate. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I remember when they were doing all that. Solar is finally getting durable and stable enough to make it more worth it. My rough calculation is that the solar will pay for itself in approximately 5 to 7 years. Then after that's also... There's also a humongous scam that's been going on for a long time with solar panels. It's these companies that... Oh, man. How does this even work? They get you to sign up for like this no payment up front kind of thing. But then they just rack up interest, and like you will spend the rest of your life paying it off. It's a pretty bad scam, and it's scooped up some older people. Is the problem. And then what happens when those people get old and die? Like this company has the right to claim their house or whatever. It's bad. And I had no idea it was so big until fairly recently. I saw some YouTube video, somebody was talking about it because they had somebody close to them, their old aunt or something, got caught up in that, and they were having to deal with the aftermath because the aunt died and they were coming to collect the house or whatever. I was like, man, I remember getting hounded on the phone like every day by some solar panel company trying to sell me stuff, and I was like, no. I think it was the same thing. I'm like, man, that was years ago. So it's still going. I had no idea it was such a scam, though. Micro hydro. Too many rivers. Ooh, that would be neat. Imagine having a negative electric bill. And like ours isn't too bad. I mean, I fuss every time I have to pay it, but when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, we got 2 air units going. One's a pretty hyper efficient one, because it does this weird thing where it like reuses the water it makes and everything. I don't know, it's pretty cool. But it heats like 90%, or heats and cools 90% of the house, and then there's an add-on to the house that has its own unit, and it's not very efficient. But when you take into consideration the size of the house and how much it's running because it's so hot outside and everything else going on in the house, it's like, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. Especially when you just go one county over and look at their utility bills. It's really not that bad. Bubble Man, that's right. We're in Mega Man 2 today, I believe. So. Now, my gas and water, I will fuss about all day, but because I hate the city, and they're getting worse and worse and worse every year. I appreciate Kazdoc recognizing Bubble Man. Let's see, I gotta get my Discord chat up. There we go. All right, so howdy from work. I think what we're gonna do today is attempt to draw Splort, my little blob wizard, but I'm gonna try not an Excalidraw. I will try it in a pixel editing program thing. Played a lot of Mega Man 2 growing up. Well, that's because it's good. It's got good tunes too. So I am not an artiste by any stretch of the imagination. I draw stick figures. You've seen it in my video. What the heck is a Splort? Well, we're getting there. So, but something I very recently started playing around in was the pixel stuff. I saw people posting it in the Squirrel server. After Ash and I think like a couple other people were sharing their pixel stuff. And I was like, that's always seemed fun. But I've just never really given it an honest go. So I went and grabbed a little free pixel program and was just piddling around, and I had a lot of fun just making little doodles because I liked how limiting it was. It's like, oh yeah, I have like 16 colors in the palette or whatever, and every pixel counts. I was like, I like that. That keeps my mind from wandering and thinking about all the 16 million different colors I could be using, or the different brush textures and everything and all the layers. It's like, nope, just a little 16 by 16 grid or whatever it was. Just really kept me contained. So I found that quite enjoyable. So what I kind of started doing here and there over the past couple weeks, so when I'm writing, I usually write for like 25 minutes and then stop for 5. So during that 5-minute stop, I just fire open the little pixel thing and start doodling, just drawing some blobs or a little house, very low effort drawings, and then go back to writing. It's very fun. And then I watched some video. It's just about pixel drawing in general, or pixel art. There's just a couple odds and ends, little tips, and I tried. So I drew like a little treasure chest, then watched the video, and then redrew the treasure chest. And I was like, oh, it's like significantly different and better, I thought. So it's kind of fun. So I figured, well, what the heck? I will try to draw Splort. Now, I don't know the technicalities of pixel art, like how thick an outline is supposed to be, but maybe it depends on like what kind of retro system you're trying to emulate. So I'm sure if a pixel artist were to come through here, they would probably claw their face off watching me. So there's your warning. So to answer Peter, Splort is my character for the Open Legend D6 mini campaign we're doing that we will be officially starting this Saturday. We had our session 0 last Saturday. And this was my reference image right here, basically. I'm just going to be a blob. It's kind of a wizardy mage thing. So I'm going to draw something similar to that in the pixel form. But that is Splort. Plan to buy a plot of useless land in like 15 to 20 years, and good God, y'all need to look real close to water rights laws. Oh yeah, all the laws. There's always something. Not an artiste? Hard disagree. You drew the first fan art of my game. Treasure it. Blood oiler dude with his saw blade hand and claws. Does a blob wizard specialize in blizzard magic? Ha ha ha. No, actually he buffs the party is what I do. I make all their attacks and movements and stuff better. Or more movements. That's what I do. So I guess my flavor will be I will throw ooze at them. You get into sprite work. Asprite is a good program. It can do animations to save palettes and probably more that I don't long live Splort. Yeah, so Asprite was one of the first ones I found, and it was like 20 or bucks or something. I was like, well, let me try a free one. And I grabbed Pixel Rama or Rama. I don't know how you pronounce it. And it's pretty good. Like it does all that. Which actually, now that I've said all that, I do have a question for y'all. So something I thought would be super cool. I really like the way dungeons looked in A Link to the Past with that kind of weird perspective where instead of you're looking straight down on the wall, it was kind of tilted like this, so they angled in on all the sides. If I can get to that skill level, I thought it'd be cool to make TTRPG maps like that, but I was wondering, and this is my question for y'all, would that run the vibe? Like if you were trying to play a fantasy or something kind of dark and gritty or a Wild West, you know, whatever setting you're in, would seeing that Link to the Past style level pixel artwork just run it for y'all? Or would you be like, I feel like I'm playing a video game, you know, not a TTRPG? I don't think it would matter to me, but I was wondering. Not starting this Saturday, a week from Saturday? What you talking about? We're starting this Saturday. It's next Saturday that we're going to be off, the 22nd. A blade greaser. Combat drugs. That's the style of adventure. Would be fine for me. Terry's gone. No, Blind Bard's gonna be out on the 22nd. Immersion. Immerse yourself in a shower, bro. I'd remember that one. Link to the Past style would definitely set a base level of whimsy, but it would definitely work with mini groups. I've considered doing dungeon tiles the same way. Yeah, I was watching a video of a guy making a tile set so where you could just make those walls and curve them and stuff. And I was like, oh man, that doesn't look too hard. And then I realized I was watching the wrong program the whole time. He was using something called Pixorama instead of Pixelrama. I was like, oh well. So that's what I like to do. And then start putting those maps on the coffee store. That way it's all done by me instead of like accidentally taking an asset I didn't know I didn't have permission to or something. So that way nobody feels robbed or cheated. And I'm safe. Oh. GM Ben's checking. I'm pretty sure we're on. Doing rooms like that reminds me of Index Card RPG or Super Hess Quest, the table game. And what was cool is the video I was watching, he was doing those style of walls too, that dungeon where it's all angled at you. And that's something like I've always thought would be cool since I got into TTRPGs. I was like, I want a Link to the Past kind of map. I was putting boss to the wall. Ding, 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 ding. Gotta tap it first. Getting your days mixed up. You are. Alright, so, with all that said, I have, we'll do that away. Where'd it go? Oh, I'm looking right at, boop. This is Pixelrama. Wish Alchemist had a perspective like that. If you buy a 4x5 note cards, boom, you can draw out prototypes and pencil, cut off that last inch, and you have squares. That's true. Get you a nice paper cutter. Cut them all at once. Okay. So, We're gonna try drawing it like this. If this is too small a window for me, I have a backup plan. So like, see, I don't even know. I go up here to new 64 by 64. That sounds small. I don't know. Let's try this. We got two different NES things in here. I don't know what the difference is. I do have a color palette down here. I went and got. I don't know which one to use. I have this one. I feel like he needs to be a black blob. Maybe with some purple robes. Or just a hat. Or maybe he's a purple blob. I don't know. Woo. So like, what if we did this color? And then filled him in with this color. That's too bright. Or is it just right? No, that might be just right. So I don't know what he's gonna look like. Should he have green eyes? Oh, no. Now he's looking like the Joker. Okay. He's very bright. Eventually go full animated sprite? No. I don't have that. Well, I don't want to say I don't have that kind of ability, but it sounds time consuming, and that's something I don't have a lot of. You can make your own letter types and just write a map. Took that idea from Video Good Dave that did to have level. Oil slick colors, maybe. Yellow or white would work with purple. Better too bright than too dark. Yeah, we'll see. I got this going on right here. Do some fancy shading. Right? It's probably not right, but and then we have a brighter one. I'm so good at this. See, like, there's your different shades. Do you want him warm or cold? I don't know. Put a dark purple blob on the bottom left and a bright purple blob on the top left. Ah! This is the wrong button. Something like that. Woo! Excuse me. Make it blobby rather than rounded. It gives them that blob. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at a color now to see if this is purpley enough. You can do it. Yeah. These are just colors to look at. Because I guess I'm thinking his hat, his big wizard hat, will be the only real piece of clothing on him, and everything else, his blob, will just imitate robes, but it's all blob. Something like that. What about an orange iris? I do have orange. You mean like that? Or make the whole thing orange? Make it. Do I not know what an iris is? I like that. That's pretty good. I had it right. The little thing in the center. I don't like that. Honestly, I would probably like this to be not this big, but round. Oh! Alright. I like Crash Man's theme. Yeah. I think they look better like this. Something like that. Purple, black, and gold is a royal color scheme. I am royalty. Crashman Jazz noodling on electric guitar. Alright. Alright. Well, let's try that then. Something like that. Alright. So here we go. I'm gonna delete him. I'm gonna wipe him clean. If I can figure out how. I think if I... There he goes. Alright. Woo. So if I take... See, part of me just wants to make him a blob with a hat and like no arms and legs. You know what I mean? And just give him this big old hat. Like, actually, it'd be bigger than that. This big old hat. Uh-oh, I'm getting de-ended. Oh, Glee's drawing him for me. I don't know if that would look very good on the pixel form, Glee. But we can try it when we get to that point. Alright. But I guess he needs limbs. Right? Little slimy limbs. Like, make it look like he has big robes, so he just has these big blobby arms. A slug foot. Just give him the Kirby feet. There we go. The only reference I got is that one thing I put on Excalidraws a second ago. That guy. That was just the inspiration. But he's actually wearing stuff. So. But geez, yeah, we could make him a little Kirby. Just working on a little adventure that featured a gelatinous cube that dissolved a wizard and gained some of its magical knowledge. There you go. Splort's origin story. Six like a slime spider. So if that's his head, we could like... He can't have a neck. It just comes down into big blobby arm. Trying to think. Gloop and Gleep managed without limbs, but they weren't wizards. This is gonna make him look like really buff. And then he has a little mitt coming out of there. It didn't look very blobby. Blurb. Classic Zelda / Dragon Quest. Give him a gumdropper Hershey Kiss shaped body with little hands. Start in a sport creature. Spore. It should have been so much better. Little hand. Maybe he does have clothes. He is not a serious character, obviously. Yeah, Spore should have been so much better. Well, I say that, but it was also pretty old and technology limits at the time. But now they could make something like what it was supposed to be. Let's see. Ooze. I feel like his head should be bigger. Can we do that? Can I like... See, I told you I don't know what I'm doing here. Magic wand. That grabs the whole thing. Okay. I just want to grab like his head. Put it down here. I think the problem is it does not need to be perfectly round like that. It needs to be like... Oh, that's not the brush tool. Kind of like that. Unity Engine Spore. Sounds like a horror game. Everything is crab is basically the creature stage in a survival thingy. I feel like I've heard of that one. There's a couple things out there trying very hard to replicate a certain part of Spore. You need to draw his brain first. Oh, he's just got a little brain in there. There you go. Tiny brain. Yeah. Alright. I suppose I should like save this somewhere. Alright. Lord. What if we like did that? Oh, I have the eraser on this. There's something going on here that I don't want. Maybe he needs a collar or something. Or what if he just like... Is that what he needs to do? Oh. Whee! Just make him one mass. And then he's like... There you go. I think we're getting somewhere. Invisible brain is great. Well, that's the thing, Glee. He's not gonna have clothes. He's just... His blob shape is imitating wizard robes. He will have a wizard hat, though. Which I guess we need to get that on there. Gotta have a big wizard hat. I don't know how to do hats. Something like that. And then it like comes up. Like that. Doesn't look like it's fitting on his head. 2 branches of goo. A hole in the center mouth open. What does that look like? Whole hat needs to come down. Bottom of the hat should be an ellipse. I don't even know what that means. I imagined his hat being way bigger. You know what I mean? I like the brim just being really stupid wide. Orthologue. Like, the brim should be way out here. Yep, we need a wider hat. It must be wide. Because he is silly. I can't even see where that goes. Yeah, wide is his arm span. That's what I'm thinking. Also, I know what's messing me up here. Does it droop enough? It's gotta be droopy. Because that seems like more fun. Oh, that don't look right at all. How'd Drew draw a big hat? Kinda like that. What if we did? Let's see. I don't think I can, like... Yeah, that doesn't... Might be a way to warp it, but I don't know how. Did I tell y'all I'm not an artiste? I want like a droop. But I feel like when I do that, it doesn't look right. Which bit range? I honestly don't know. The tile, the whole thing is like 324 or something. It said Super Nintendo, but I don't know what that means. Oh, that don't look right at all. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. We're figuring it out as we go, guys. Well, now it looks like it's pinching his head. References are your friend. Yeah, well. Dang. So now I just want to like scoot the hat over this way. References feel like cheating. That's not bad. And that can be an eyeball right there. That is a bad mindset. Usually means it's meant to replicate the 16-bit sprites. Well, that's what I was saying at the beginning, like at the technical side of this. Like, oh, if you're this size, you should, you know, you should be at this scale or whatever. This is your typical outline size or what, things like that. So, I do not. Probably should have figured that out before I started. And see, we can, well, he's going to be purple. See, I was thinking he was going to be a different color and his clothes was going to be purple, but he has no clothes. The virgin references are your friend versus Chad fucking Weeball. Right. You know, references. So how are we gonna like these little stubby arms? I guess they can go right into it like that. And that's like his sleeve hanging down. Something like that. He is blobby. We'll figure it out. What a silly looking goober. Well, if he's gonna be purple, then what color do we make his hat? Now I'm just making the dude from McDonald's. Whatever, his Grim Shake or whatever his name was. Grimace. What was his name? Which leaves drops of slime. Ooh. Light spots where he's thinner. I think he needs clothes. I think that's the problem. Like a big scarf thing right here. Or maybe collar from his robe. It's just like, you just see little eyes coming out. The funny thing is, when he gets in the water, like he can't swim. He just becomes the liquid. So if he falls over a boat or something, bloop, it'd just be the hat in his robe. 3 apple tall. Color variation and opacity is cool. Yeah, now you're getting too fancy. turning into a blob version of the Black Mage, which could help with it. Yeah, like, was it Vivi from 10? Or 9, I'm sorry. Achieve the clothes made of goop look, but you need to draw the body shape first. It's okay to leave construction lines since you did the design. Yeah, except I won't be able to tell what I'm doing. This would be like the center of your robe coming down. Whee! Whee! Stole the robes from a 6-foot tall wizard, and he's like 3 foot. And that goes behind him. And that goes behind him. Be kind of like that. So then you would have a line right there. Heck yeah, something like that. Explain the huge hat too. I like it. So really what we could do, if he's gonna have clothes, is have a nubbin coming out. Nubbin. I say stole, but any number of stories work. Maybe ate a wizard or inherited them from his late teacher there. Nubbins. Okay, I feel like he's way too pinched right here, so. So let's. Right there. Just kind of comes down. Actually, I wonder if it should just blop. Like he's super baggy. Too tall. Imposter. Like way up here. Just sleeves to floor. Bulbous with curve. That's a good point. I almost wonder if the arms, those little nubbins, should be taller, and he just. Like the wide look, yeah. On to something there. So you should like his nubbin be taller? 6F what? Okay. Can I like duplicate this? Duplicate layer. Oh, what's that layer? That was layer 1. Add group layer. Clone! There we go. Okay, so we'll have it in case I royally screw this up and want to go back. So what I'm thinking... apparently I'm thinking with the wrong tool here. Oh, oops. I'm working on the wrong layer. I think. Okay. I'll make sure I didn't. Thought I was erasing the one I was saving. Okay. Figured it out. So, almost back to scratch here. He just has this big collar. His little nubbin. That arm's a bit long, but... What's up, Cyros? I feel like we almost had something there. What if this kind of curves up behind him? I don't like the way that nubbin looks. I think it's too small. It needs to be a fat nubbin. And he's holding a staff. I don't know, y'all. What do you think? Got my Slash of Life game ready enough for an initial round of review and feedback. Just added. Oh, did you really? Another thread. Let's see. You found like a little, not a dedicated game group, but some locals, right? That got in on your diceless one. I didn't know if they were like becoming semi-regulars or that resource you could tap into more than once. Don't like. Boy, that's a fat boy. Been having some scheduling issues, so the last session. Oh, Well, I think I like that one better. This one, I don't know. Oh, you know what might help this one? I think this needed to do this a little more. Yeah. Yep. Oh, weird something going on with Splort. You know, little arms doing weird back here. Oh wait, that should be like that. Now it doesn't look like a collar though. That's just kind of. What's going on here? There we go. A little better. The hat is still curving the wrong way. It droops down. Or do you mean this line in the back? You think it should be coming down like that? Oh, I guess that does look better, doesn't it? Alright. Big hat. Yep. Big hat. How do I get like a... I want it to be pointy. That don't look right. Big hat. What a goofy looking dude. Look like Baby Yoda now. That's not cool. Should you have like a little pendant or something right here? Like keeping all this together? Little robe. Might be a little too open. A little jewel. My coaster came with my cup. Is it still curving upward? Okay, there's one reason I hate having ice in my cup. Because it makes condensation everywhere. And then the coaster sticks to the cup. And then water drips all over me. Glee is still unhappy with my hat. I thought it looked much better now. I don't think I'm good enough to do that curvy thing you're showing me. Could have a seam or a mismatched overlap point. Glee, do you want it to like just not have a line right here? It looks like you're wanting to get rid of this entire line right here. The brim is fine, she says. Okay. I think what we need to do because this is, you know, artwork is going to be judged so harshly at our game. It might be, I don't know. What if we got rid of this line and it's like, oh no, there's no slime there. It's so dark. What was the color we ended up liking for? Oh no. Well, can't do that. We're gonna get you the death eyeballs. Halloween boy. Yeah, so if he's purple, I don't know how I feel about those. I think I like that. We did like the little, I think, yeah, that's gonna be too bright. I don't like it. Deathly stare. Empty stare. Okay, so what color should his clothes be if we make him purple? We made him the dark purple because he's... Unless we wanted to be fancy. What if we did this? What if we did this? Spots missing there. What if we shaded? Would it just look goofy? Probably would. Where his hat is? Oh, don't look too bad. Probably could be shaded a little more. Slime green for the clothes. Like just dirty green. Found him in a sewer somewhere. It's a level 1 wizard that didn't make it. They sent him on the rat killing quest. Light blue, darker than sky blue, almost sapphire for the clothes. Orange and green. That didn't work the way I wanted. Oh, have the eraser tool. That's what's going on. All right. Now, can we? Now, I was gonna try and shade the eyes a little too, but that's just a whole other color right there. I don't want right. I don't have a yellow darker than that. You can barely tell the difference there. And that's that. Well, shucks. Alright. It's really good under the hat. Well, thanks, man. I remember that in the appendix of D&D was Dying Earth. The wizards there were jacked. Okay, well, we got some greens up in here. Could just have a nasty green. Or this kind of green. Like that under his hat. Something like that. I kind of like that. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I just kind of drew it. Don't think we actually need it. That's the wrong color. Big red button. Boop. We might draw something on there later. Look at him. He's so dorky. Mission accomplished, I guess. I don't know how that's gonna look. So I don't know why I don't just use that. Eyeball's a little weird, but we can fix that later. What should I do here? Have like a little... Oop. Little blob under there. Oh, what a dork. A little slurpy. So... the big jewel. He found treasure. How do layers work in here? Oh, that does fill up the whole thing. Okay. What do you think, big jewel? Or like some trash he found? I like the idea that it was a level 1 wizard that died in the sewers that he found. So what's something he could have found that like snaps us together? A button? Yeah, I am pretty small. The left side from the sleeve looks like a clergy robe and looks a bit mismatched from the right sleeve. I like the way the left looks compared to the right. Yeah, the one on the left is bigger. And it was supposed to be the big droopy sleeves. It's glass prop jewelry. Ties him to his profession. I don't know. If I were to make it a jewel, would red be too much? That's too much. And a green might blend in. Yeah, it's gonna blend in too much. How do we... What's a jewel look like? Big old jewel. Looks like a piece of candy. Too many colors. Orange. That's a bit much. Dirty jewel. Well, if I were just to make it a regular button, like what color would it be? Would it be gray? Painting Jewels Warhammer. You'll see some good examples of color placement. Oh gosh, that sounds like a rabbit hole and a half. Painting Jewels. I never know how to spell that. Warhammer. I think I've actually seen this one. The button, it could be brass. One of Bilbo's lost buttons. Glee, if it's too many colors, what do I do for his button? I kinda liked. I also was thinking that as a button. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what we'll do as a big button. Make it match his eyes. Yeah, then it might look like he has a different eyeball. Copper with a slight patina would tie in the turquoise of the robes and the orange of the... Okay, so... Said the artist. Darker teal or a leather color. What is copper? Is this copper? Kind of looks like copper. You asked. I did. Let's go to this layer. I want to do something, try and get my eyeballs right. That's not right. Alright, we're gonna... Oh, I know why it's not working. Because I'm dumb. Alright, now we can position his eyes just like right on top of that and do what we want. If you do the lower half in a darker orange or red-brown, it'll really look like copper. His eyes would be in shadow. Well, yeah. And I tried to put a shadow over his eye earlier and I couldn't find the right color on here, so. But now I just wanted to have the whole band and then to make it editing easier. Yeah, you're moving them. Yep. Because they needed reshape. They were a little lopsided. So let's work on this dude. What color is that? Is that this one? That is this one. We did that. Whoop. A little sheen shine on it. Actually, that should have been the other way around. It should be darker on the bottom. And a little sheen shine on top. Because I understand how light sources work. Yeah, I'll booger that all up. Yeah. Too many colors. Too much going on. Too much. Alright, what did I get sent here? Helps to draw your... Yeah. I've actually done that before. Back when I was trying to draw. And it does help. Looks like I drew a basketball. I don't know what to do with his eyeballs. 'Cause I like that color, but I don't have one to like darken it the way I want. That's not what I wanted. Well, I kind of liked how I had them before. Still aren't done. Try some diagonal lines across the button to make it look shiny and a pale orange since it's special. Can have a little extra detail. Yeah. Let's see. Now I got distracted by eyeballs, though. That's not what we wanted. I forgot I'm on another layer. Big ass. Copper oxidizes into a light blue, sickly green. That's true. Could make a border of the button that color. Flashbang. Ah. You right twice did, but I don't know. That might be hard to do. Kind of like just all along the bottom. Middle, just some along the edges randomly. It's all dirty. Just like Grandpa used to make them. I just had a funny thought. If so this guy's real short, and this is a dead level 1 wizard's robes he took. Let's say he cut off, you know, a good 90% of the robe so it would fit. It would be funny if they just had like this huge shirt pocket. You normally the little pocket you have right here, but on him it's like half his robe. Built-in satchel, that's right. I know Capcom also did it, but this sounds so much like a piece from Bionic Commando. So there's, I think, wait, Zero's theme and Guile's theme from Street Fighter, they're like the same thing, right? X3's version of the Zero theme. There's a lot of overlap in Capcom music, and it's all good. Wooden buttons usually aren't wood. They were made of nets. What? I mean, that's kind of cool. He's all right looking dude. I feel like the eyes are still too fat, though. I like the idea of the eyes kind of glowing. That's why there's no shading over them. But I don't know. What am I looking for? I want that. And then... do that. Now trim it up a little bit. Still a little fat. Now. There he is, that's Splort. We ain't drawing him a staff. I guess we could do a little shading on the head or something. Let's see. This is that color. Dang it. I gotta get on the right layer. Here we go. Oh. Badoop. How does shading work? Something like that? No. Probably more like maybe just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how shading works. Doodle a mustache somewhere. It's covered up. He's got the thing over it. I wish we would return to the plant ivory buttons. The reality of those is so cool. Basically coconut juice buttons. Oh my. Actually the wand of the sewer wizard. Because he's small. The other way? What, like this? Or like this? Yes, that doesn't. I guess this one. You might try either, none, because the little bent is doing the job. Or arc up to the left, simulate fold, yeah. I do think I need a little more. Like that. There we go. Draw the mustache on the road. So, that could have been his button. It could have been a mustache. Draw the mustache on the robe shader. He's very sneaky. Also, we were going to, I think, try and make this kind of like that. That's not what I want. Dang it! I keep clicking the wrong button. Oh, now it won't do it. Now it won't do it when I want it to do it. You hate everything. Alright. That's not the color I want. What color was this? Not that one? That one. Okay. Big sleeve. Big sleeve, big sleeve. There we go. And then technically, we could maybe. Might be asking for too much. Just a little bit. I can't tell, but I think the guy was just with mustaches. I think so. He has the beard of the wizard in a pocket. Hair is hard to digest. You almost had to sleeve again. You need to curve the other way to match the other side. I don't know what's going on. I really wish. Let's see. O and P. Alright, so we can just. What if we just did that? There, big sleeve. and then like we're learning shortcuts. It's a poncho. Pretty much. Got the hat, the robe, and put his nubbing inside a pocket to pull out a bunch of white hair and beard. I'm a real wizard. Heck yeah. Maybe he's just in the sleeve of the wizard robe and he had to cut little holes out of it. What a lad. What a dirty sewer grubby little lad. There's probably more shading that could be done, but see, you could be that. OBS had a hiccup. I was gonna say you could be fancy and like with no outline. Ooh, fanciness. Nope, we're not gonna do all that. We're gonna leave him like so. Got to drive in the rain. Take care, folks. Have fun, Kazdog. Be safe. You have no outline on the hat shadow? So what do you mean? Oh, right there. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I guess I got to now. For consistency's sake. Does that mean I would put some right here? Accidentally. And then would you put some right here? How does shading work? Not like that. I'm on the wrong layer again. How did I end up switching layers? I just did all the other shading on that one. Alright. What's going on? I'm so confused. How do I keep ending up back on the wrong layer? And this probably ain't even gonna look good. Everything. Okay, I am so confused. That's that layer. That's the button. This is not the button. If I do this, do that. So how come when I do this, I don't understand that. That's weird. It's... Anyway. Idiots and rain don't mix well in cars, it's true. He's calling himself not an artist. Gotta name them for starters. Yeah, well, I didn't even expect to use any today. The little pixel thing. I didn't know we were gonna get so fancy. Didn't know it was gonna be so fancy. Let's look for the pixel I didn't covered. Yeah, I feel like if I do this, I don't know why that wouldn't. I'm lost. I feel like that should close itself in. So if I did that, does that look right? I'm just randomly putting color on here. Wee. Who needs proper lighting sources? Me, that's who. You know, I'm pretty sure that person that followed me on Twitch the other day was actually somebody who knows how to draw. Hopefully they don't tune in today. That's weird looking. But if I do this, it actually works. Big old blue jay out there. Oh well. I keep fiddling with it. I'm just gonna make him weirder and weirder looking. So, we'll just leave him right there. Splort! I like Splort. So Mustache, when Splort falls in the water, remember, he just becomes the liquid, so that'll just be the hat and a robe floating. See his eyeballs going downstream. Now draw a bucket. Put him in a bucket. Y'all might have to. I don't know what Mustache has planned for us. Comes the fudge monster. Sleeps in his hat upside down, right? I guess he could. But no, I was thinking when he does sleep, he just flattens out and his whole hat is covering him. But that's also why he has the big hat, is to keep the rain off of him. Later, Blaze. Raggedy Annie. Hey, I recognize that name. That's just silly looking thing. I made that. Look at it. Oh, man. Also, Glee, I just realized the little copper things you sent me, that color they're turning's like the exact same color of his robe. That's kind of funny. Maybe his robe is the pocket. And he just got in the pocket and around it. Just cut it out. It's exactly what you said. You said a lot of things. It was hard to keep up with. Especially with a delay. And you said 10%. I don't believe that. I believe it's 1%. 1%. Alright, let's see what Mr. Cyro's put in here. Attempting to make a slice of life game. Recently working on a ttrpg called Project AIO. Open for business. Twice Dead, have you ever played a slice of life ttrpg? I've looked into a couple out of curiosity. But the couple I looked at had a ton of rules. And I was like, wow, that seems complicated for a game that goes nowhere. Krieg says, getting the Pokemon sampler region ready. Got a town, procedurally generated dungeon on the first red, just gotta fill in the monsters. I hope to have 1 or 2 more towns around before Thursday. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited for Thursday. I'm gonna try out Krieg's little solo game thing he made. So he's making some stuff to run it through real quick. Vanderholm and hated it. Yeah, it just... Part of me is like, oh, it could be kind of cool, you know, a little slice of life, cozy, ttrpg, but then I was like, it feels like it would get old really fast. But I am also not the type of person that put 1,000 hours into Stardew Valley either, so. Cough, cough, glee. She loves that game. She likes her cozy game. She likes, was it Animal Crossing? Is that the Nintendo one? Made enough mechanics for this game that it could be played as gritty workplace sim, but I also made them loose enough that they could be based. That's right, because yours had like... It reminded me of OG Sims, like Sims 1, where you got to build your house and everything, but there were goals and actual like dangers. You know, you could run out of money, run out of food. Like you couldn't just do whatever you want and survive, right? And there's, because there were goals, it's like, okay, I got to go to this job and make money. Okay, in order to move up in the company, I have to like get these skills up and make this many friends and stuff like that. There were gameplay elements, whereas I did not. Help me out, Glee. Is Sims 4 the one you put a lot of time into, or is it 3? Whatever the newest one is. So I went from Sims 1 to the newest one that Glee plays all the time, and it's like 4. Okay. You can just do whatever the heck you want and you will never run out of money in that game. It is, and I don't mean this in a negative way to belittle it or anything, but it is a dollhouse simulator. You just make a sim and you build your house all day long and do whatever you want, and like everything works. There's not really anything to overcome in that game. So it was very different than the first one. So those are the type of games it's like, feel like would get boring, versus what Cyros sounded like he was saying for his little slice of life ttrpg thing. It leaned more towards Sims 1, where it's like, oh no, there are things to do. Caressed by feet. Actually uses dice. Checks are done with a D10. Ooh, and you can spend control points to add D4s to your checkout effect. Yeah, it's not a survival sim. You make your own challenge. As I say, I feel like just dollhouse simulator is what makes sense to me. You know, just kind of do what you want. And that's what a lot of people do. They just make houses in it. You know, there's plenty of builder YouTubers out there. What you doing? What you doing? What's that foot doing? Getting all up in your ear. Dork. Oh. So, but you know, fun for some people. Just not a thing that appeals to me. But all that said, Stardew Valley, like I do have a lot of appreciation for and mad respect. It just was not for me. It was like really close because Stardew has like all this background story going on that you can or can't get involved in. Like the little bit with the wizard at the tower and everything. Like that's all pretty interesting and there were goals to do, but it was a little too slow for me. It needed a few quality of life features, and there were mods that basically do what I was wanting, but everybody and their brother has spoiled that game to death for me, so it's like, nothing against the Stardew Vans, but if you ever bring up Stardew, they'll just tell you everything about it. Every time. So, I missed out on that experience. But it is pretty cool. And I can't name the characters. Yeah, sure can't. Is there even like a runner-up to Stardew Valley in that genre? Does anything come close? I can't. I know there's been plenty of attempts, a bunch of Stardew clones, but I'm blanking if there's been anything that's remotely close to as decent or well liked. Don't know. Names are hard. I keep forgetting Scrat is yet another bit. I am. We have multiple. We are many. We got Ben, we got GM Ben, we got Benjamin. We got Gleeful Ben now on the server. Oh. Excuse me. So I told myself if I got this done in a timely fashion, I was going to try and build a big master list of ttrpgs, but I did not do this in a timely fashion. But I do want to make myself a good list of ttrpgs, a way to keep up with all the ones to play, like play and review for the channel, play from what people have been making in the server, not just the list that most people make, like these are just things I want to play. It's like, nope, these are things I should go check out for sake of the channel and for the sake of the community. So get that all listed up, filtered out. But that sounds like another project for another time. We are legion, we are many, but with bins. Oh, let's see, can I export all frames, visible layers. Oh wait, this is one thing because I forgot. I just made a big canvas. Is there a way to shrink to size? Resize canvas? Oh, I guess we can just do this. Whee! We'll get there one day. Aha. Wow. That doesn't seem very centered. Oh. Speaking of Giles theme, there it is. Good enough. Splort. Let's see, where's Splort? I'm gonna drop him in the chat. Splort. What's he look like if I put him? Splort. There we go. Screenshot, the easiest route is what I started to do, and I was like, nah, let me do it properly. Since sharing my new game review, that the common feedback is a lack of getting it when it comes to slice. Yeah, I was gonna say that feels like that takes a very specific crowd. But I have no doubt there is that audience out there. Great. Because I was saying, like, Glee loves those type of games, like Animal Crossing, Stardew, and everything. I can't get into them because, like, I need some kind of goal. And I know they technically have some, but, like, it's just not enough if there's no threat to that goal. Right? Because, like, Animal Crossing, you can just take your time and do everything, right? Stardew, you do whatever. But I think that's very cool. It's just not for me. So. Basically, here's a setting, here's some situations, now roleplay. Yeah, and here are a few tasks and challenges while you're at it. Yeah. But there is a growing audience for that too, I feel like. Cozy games have really... Yeah, partly because of Stardew, right? And I feel like, I don't know if we're still in it, I haven't been paying attention. What's up, Smug? I feel like the cozy market kind of got oversaturated for a little while there. Because everybody was trying to, you know, ride Stardew's coattails, right? So. Some little sorcerer creatures. Yeah, man, we made this guy. You missed it. We drew that ourselves. It only took the whole stream. We drew him over here. We were learning things. Garbage code. Yeah, because, like, they kind of fall in that roguelike category in the sense they're easy to spit out, right? Because those ones you don't even have to really worry about balance. So. But I feel like a good cozy game takes a lot of effort to make. A Final Fantasy, yeah, pretty much. Smug, pretty much. May or may not been the main inspiration there. Let's see if we can find one. All right, here's one right here. Ta-da! But there is a market. NHL, one of the most popular physical games, cozy. Yeah, that's the one I looked at and was like, this is too much. Isn't it called like Iron Valley or something like that? Yeah, I feel like the itch.io crowd is very big into that cozy stuff. It speaks to them. Really like my head around slice of life gameplay, but I made it so you can customize your own playsets from a fantasy tavern to a cantina on a starship. I will say, first campaign, they had a not a camp. They had a tavern, slash manor they could do things with, and they got pretty into that in between quests. It's the Shire cozy game that came out not too long ago because I dreamed of playing a Hobbit for me, but I heard it sucked. It did not look very good. Like, you watch the trailer and you're just like, not a lot going on there, is there? Also, you know what I just saw? I see something. We have a missing pixel. There we go. Now he's done. Oh, never mind. We got one over here too. Terrible. Terrible. Missing pixels, I know. People out there can snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Harvest Moon. Yeah. Now Story of Seasons and Animal Crossing. So those are the gold standard I have for any cozy games. So are you on the Stardew Valley side of things? Is that your jam? Encounter a wide and deep river and the bridge is out. Oh no! Oh, it is an easier sell than a cozy. Yeah, right? Like... But that's like something I've always been leery of when I see a big IP on a video game. Like, so many times the video game is just crap. It feels like it was made by somebody who never played or made video games before. Because there's a Lord of the Rings survival crafting game where you play as dwarves, and it's like just so aggressively okay. It's like, it just feels so... like it was made by a bunch of rookies. And it's like, but you have this massive IP you're working with. GoldenEye, I feel like, is the only video game of an existing thing that was any good. And technically, it was pretty janky and goofy as heck, but it was so much fun. I feel like blue, green, purple, orange, and yellow are a great palette for this mage. Well, thanks, man. Also enjoy Stardew Valley. Still prefer the older Harvest Moon games, but Stardew Valley is a great modern take. Too many layers of approval. That might be it. Kills every idea on the way to the top. And then you got Games Workshop video games, all the Warhammer stuff. They just vary wildly. Like some... It's like, did one person make this and they didn't know what they were doing the entire time? And then you got something like Vermin Died, which is fantastic. Took it a while to get there, but the Tolkien state stopped giving license to garbage. That's the thing. It's like, it's so weird. But then that's been a thing for a long time too. Like you would go to the store or a pawn shop way back in the day and see this old Game Boy game or old Super Nintendo game of a really popular movie franchise like Star Wars or something, and you just knew it was going to be the most garbage game ever. I guess they just, once your IP hits a certain size, you just want that quick turnaround, and it's like, oh yeah, everybody's going to buy this just because it says Star Wars on it. You know, collect it or whatever. So don't invest a lot in making this actually decent. Yeah, I am also starving, Glee. I'm gonna hop off here in a minute and get myself some food. So, it's weird. Again, GoldenEye being one of the few things, but it's probably only because Rare got their hands on it. If anybody else had gotten it, it just would have been poo-poo. Probably. Angry at Games Workshop for many things, but one of them is their license agreements. They fumbled the bag twice with World of Warcraft and StarCraft and started handing it out willy-nilly. That's right. There's some, what is it? Nintendo 64, I think. I want to say there's some really old footage. Maybe it wasn't early. I think it was, what's the Warhammer ripoff Blizzard has? Whatever that was, they were thinking about making a 64 first-person shooter of that. And it just never happened. Same with Lord of the Rings Return to the Moria game. I would love to play a dwarf from Lord of the Rings sooner, but it just came out. Yeah, well, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, that survival crafting one. I've played it. It's just like, yeah, it's a game, and technically it functions, but it's just so low quality. And like, it could have been kind of fun, but man, yeah. It wasn't Gollum. You could actually play it. It was just very unexciting, and everything is, yeah, aggressively meh. You know, it's like, yep, I click a button, I swing a sword. That's about the extent of it. You know, very basic animations and no decent feedback from your actions and things like that. It makes, you know, sometimes I really wonder, especially like a game like Raft. How do you make that so bad? Like, I get having a placeholder animation or something in sound effects like that just to get the basic raw idea through. But to leave it in there that entire time and be able to sleep at night thinking that, yes, this is acceptable. This is like, no, man. Grizzly Man describes how I feel about when a stranger calls 2006 remake, but I still rewatch it all the time while I work on things. Random, but felt like putting. It's all good, man. But now we know Schmug is the cozy connoisseur. We learned something today. I also learned something right before going live, too. Apparently, YouTube's like basically doubling their requirement for monetization. So used to, you know, they brought it down. And it got all the way down to, you had to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours in a year's time. And then something different for shorts. I don't know what that was. And then you could monetize. You could turn on ad revenue and all that. Or turn it off. And do things like super chats and memberships and all that. But now they're upping it starting February next year, I think was the date. They're upping it to 8,000 hours. And then whatever the shorts one got doubled to. It's still 1,000 subs, because those don't mean anything anymore. But I don't understand the logic behind that. Kind of weird, because it's like, if you dangle the monetization in front of people, like, hey, you make a YouTube channel and start monetizing right away, more people would attempt it, and you think that's what you'd want. But at the same time, maybe that's what they're trying to stop with all the AI stuff. It's like, no, you have to have this many hours, you know, and that'll, I guess maybe they're hoping those AI channels will get banned before they hit the 8,000 hours, but I don't know what the logic there is, unless it's just, oh hey, we can run, there's a decent amount of ads we could run between 4,000 and 8,000 hours where we don't have to pay them anything at all because they're not monetized, they're not part of the YouTube partnership program or whatever. Not a cozy connoisseur, but thinking about it, I realized I played more cozy games than I realized. Including the Sims games. We were talking about those earlier. Can't say I know the ins and outs of monetization, but imagine it sucks trying to... It's... I would say it's not that big a deal, it's not that hard, but I also don't do anything with it. So, like, you can I haven't done anything with it for years. I used it for legal. Ooh, nice. It's just, you know, you can run ads on your channel. You just say, yep, play ads here, 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 and here. This is where I allow it. But then you can do memberships for your channel, which is just Patreon, but YouTube gets a big cut of it. I think YouTube's trying to add some kind of storefront for the membership stuff. Then you can do super chats. You could turn that on. Your Honor, League of Legends. The problem is with all of YouTube's monetization things like memberships and super chats is YouTube takes such a freakishly hefty cut. And it's like you're trying to cut out Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and Ko-Fi. Like, it's fine. It's your business. I can see why you would want to do that. But if you want to do that, maybe don't take 45%. Whereas, you know, Ko-Fi takes, what, 3% or whatever? It's wild to me, man. I don't... There's a lot of... I mean, I'm still grateful. You know, I got a channel. I'm accruing a following. It's great, but, like, they still make some weird decisions. So... that I don't understand. Glee is back. Well. Oh no. I thought I had that ready to pop up. Starting a review channel. Hey man, do her tour. Do her tour. What you got to lose other than all the time you spend on it? Still using League of Legends stuff. Is that what that is? Well, guys, I know I am hungry, so I'm gonna bounce. But before I do, today's Tuesday. That's right, Thursday I'm trying out Krieg's game. I already said that. So we'll be doing that, and maybe we'll make that RPG list. I don't know how long the thing is gonna take. But then Saturday, yep, we'll be playing Open Legend D6. I will be Splort. So Saturday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Be there, be square, something along those lines. So until then, see y'all later.